All right, everyone, tonight on the channel, we are making one of the famous pastas of Rome, the most famous pasta from Rome in America, Pasta Carbonara. Maybe not my favorite, but still a delicious pasta. Why would I say that? Okay, everyone, tonight on the channel, it is about pasta, one of the famous pastas from Rome. We're doing Pasta Carbonara. There is no cream in this like most Americans would have. We're gonna do this the authentic Italian way, and we're gonna show you a way to emulsify the sauce, the eggs, the pasta water, where it's just wonderfully creamy and delicious. Let's get into it. Hello. No, I'm making a YouTube video. I clapped my hands and my phone said my watch said I fell, and I was like, what the heck? And I hung up, and then you're calling me back. Sorry about that. I'm just having some fun at home making cooking videos. So if you guys are hungry, come on. I got a bottle of wine too. All right, thank you. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Pasta carbonara, what are the ingredients? And first of all, no cream. We are making this, the Italian way. There is no cream in this dish. So what do we have? Well, typically, let's start with the meat. Typically you would want guanciale, and sometimes I can find it's not the easiest thing to find, but when you can't, pancetta works just fine, and that's what we're going with tonight. You want 1 egg per person that you're serving this dish to, plus 1 extra egg yolk that's going to give it this kind of rich, creamy kind of silkiness to the dish. Pecorino cheese, it's a sheep's milk cheese. I don't think it's specifically from Abruzzo, but I know it is in the Abruzzo area of Italy. But it has this it's very salty, so you're not going to see salt in this dish. You're going to see pecorino. But it's got this funk to it as well that's really, really good. And then a pasta of choice. A lot of people might do spaghetti, which is fine. A lot of people might do a fusilli or something like that. I'm a big fan of bucatini. This is, you might look at it and go, well, it looks like spaghetti. It's similar, except it's got holes. And, some people think it doesn't make a difference. Some people think it does. For me, I just like if the sauce has a chance to get inside the pasta and work its way through there, I'm willing to take the chance. So we're going bucatini with our pasta tonight. All right, that's how simple this dish is. We're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ingredients, a little pasta water once we get done with that, and that's it. So let's start putting this dish together. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is get our pancetta ready to go. And all we're going to do here, I'm going to see if I can cut this kind of right down the middle, is cube this up. And what I've come to learn about Italians, and I really admire this about them, I think a lot of times you hear that they're fiery, a little hot-headed, have a temper maybe. I also think when it comes to food and relaxation and hanging out with friends, they're very patient. They don't want that to go quick, and I really admire that about them. And the reason I'm saying that is, when we dice up our pancetta, we're going to slowly cook this, slowly render out the fat in this pancetta. You don't want this to cook and get crispy and hard on the outside. You want this to be still a soft kind of texture to it when we get this cooked. So take your time. I'm cooking for 1 tonight. I'm the only one at home. We are empty nesters, and my wife is out with some girlfriends. What better time to cook for yourself and make a little video while you do it? Yeah, I think half of that's going to be plenty for me. All right, we got us a little skillet. We're going to turn this on to low. I got to tell you, I'm still getting used to this burner. What I think is low, sometimes I figure out as I'm cooking, it's a little higher than I wanted. Sometimes a little lower, but usually a little higher. So pan's cold. I'm going to go ahead and take the pancetta and put it in because we want it to come to temp and start to warm and release those fats the same time the pan is getting warm. So let's go ahead and get that in right now while the pan's warming up. While the pancetta is warming up, if we're gonna cook Italian food, you can't have Italian food, or any food if you're Italian, without some wine. So let me go grab a bottle of wine that I'm gonna enjoy tonight with this dish. All right, starting to get this fat to render out. And that's just flavor, folks, that's just flavor. All right, we're just gonna let that keep going a little bit. The wine, I'm going to open up just something kind of simple, but also good. A Rosso di Montalcino. So this is a Sangiovese grape. This is from the Montalcino area where you hear about Brunellos. This is the little baby brother to the Brunello. Love Sangiovese, such a great food wine. You know, great acidity, good tannins. Usually the alcohol is not too bad. It's probably about 14. It's a 2020. It was a little warmer vintage, I think. So yeah, 14% alcohol. So it's gonna have some nice body to it. Gonna be delicious. Let's pop it open and see what we think. You know, the longest part about making this dish, honestly, and I'm a little behind, is boiling, getting the water to boil and cooking the pasta. So hopefully we can catch up here real quick, or I'll turn this pancetta down a little bit. Yeah, you know, if I'm gonna make Italian pasta on the channel, I probably ought to have some wine as I'm getting ready to, or I'd probably get in a lot of trouble with the Italians. Probably my wife. Whew, smells nice. Mike Scott. Boy, nice color on that. Beautiful nose. Love a Sangiovese. Get a little bit of that spice, a little cedar, get that cherry, a little floral. Definitely a little tight. As you can see, I just popped it and poured it. So, but you can tell it's there. This is going to take, 20, 30 minutes by the time we get dinner ready. This is going to open up. This is going to be a really nice wine with dinner tonight. Okay, while we're letting this just kind of slowly render out that fat, we are going to get our egg and cheese, call it a mixture, this combination together, get it whipped up, make it, this is what's going to end up being our cream for the pasta. So let's take an egg, and we'll just crack that bad boy and put her in. This next egg I'm going to do by the sink because we're just going to do the yolk. All right, so we got the white out. We're just going to put the yolk in. Okay, we got the pasta in. I think you guys can boil pasta. I don't need to show you what I'm doing there. Got that going for about 9 to 10 minutes. It'll be ready to go. We got our egg and our egg yolk in the bowl. Now we're going to add our pecorino cheese. Oh, that smells so good. My boy Mike. All right, we're going to start with that. I'm lucky. Sometimes I'll buy the block, but there's a lot of times, or sometimes, not a lot, that my grocery store, H-E-B, will have this finely grated. Same product, finely grated 3 days ago. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to buy that all day long and save me that step. All right, we're going to grab a whisk. And we're just going to start whisking this together. And, I stopped with the cheese, but I may add more if I feel like I want to get this a little bit thicker. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, into here, we're going to put our black pepper. And you can go a little heavy on the pepper. Remember, this is no salt because that cheese is pretty salty. And we're going to finish this with, of course, a little more cheese on top. That's the consistency I want. That looks really good. Okay. At this point, we're kind of ready to build. We're just waiting for this freaking pasta to be done. Like I said, Takes the longest. Now you can see there's this fat in here. That is going to be some added flavor that we're going to put in here to our pasta. That's why we want to render that out. We got about 50 seconds left. Our pasta will be done, and we're going to get ready to put this together. It's really not a dish that takes very long at all. Absolutely delicious, simple ingredients, so something if you're not making it at home, you should be. Okay, the pasta's done. We're going to start putting this together. You can see that I have the pot of pasta, the water, over here. This water, if we need it, if we get too thick, is going to be a good way to kind of thin it out, but it still has some starches from the pasta, so it will help us emulsify and still kind of make this really rich and silky and nice. So here we go. It's going to go pretty quick. Michael Scott. So let's get all this pasta in. May have went a little bit much for me for one guy, but you know what? If I don't eat it, I don't eat it. This is what I told you at the beginning of the video. A lot of people will try to do this in a pan, in this pan on the stove, and I've learned that the better way to do this is right here in this kind of a bowl where it's not hot. You want it off that heat because you don't want it to cook that egg. And so as you can see, look how creamy this is getting. Just that fast, this pasta is put together. So now what we're going to do is take this fat and pancetta right here, get that in there, and that, folks, is pasta carbonara at home. Your kids will think you made them macaroni and cheese because it is that creamy and good and cheesy. And that's it. Let's plate this up. All right, let's finish this with a little bit more black pepper on top. Sprinkle of pecorino. That's our dish. Pasta carbonara at home that any Italian would be proud of you for making and be happy to sit down, eat this with you, and enjoy a glass of wine. Thanks for joining tonight on the episode. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys on the next one. I'm going to go chow down, have a sip of red juice, and enjoy myself.